Joining me now is the Democratic Representative Eugene Vindman of Virginia. He's a member of the Armed Services Committee. He's coming back from a bipartisan congressional delegation trip to Ukraine. You've been there many times. You're from there. Congressman, good to see you. Can you make sense of this for me? What's going on here? Why the change in Donald Trump's tone from you don't have the cards to you can win all your territory back, and this analysis that it's not really a change in policy, it's just a change in the way Donald Trump talks?
Well, first of all, great to be back with you, Ali. Look, I got back just a couple of days ago from the first bipartisan delegation visit to Ukraine from the House official delegation visit. And it's my first trip in 2 years. And so I learned a lot from that trip. And the determination of the Ukrainian people, their resilience is still remarkable. And the urgency for the United States and for the West to stand by Ukraine against Russian aggression is never more timely right now. And I think what we're seeing is finally, and we spoke about this last time, the painfully slow learning process of this president. He's finally starting to learn. He's finally listening to the intelligence he's receiving rather than relying on his gut. And, you know, he's flip-flopped a number of times. We'll see where this ultimately lands, but I like the direction that he's going in now, at least what he's verbalizing. I'm
trying to think back. I think you and I were together in Ukraine a couple of years ago. And back then, it was really important to the Ukrainian people the degree to which the American president and the American people were behind them. That sort of went away with Donald Trump's election. Where are they now? Where are the Ukrainian people vis-a-vis what America says and what America does in their support?
Well, first of all, they're immensely grateful for what we have done to support them. And they still see us as an indispensable partner. And the message was clear. My Republican colleague and I were very clear that the American people and we as the representatives of the American people as members of Congress overwhelmingly support Ukraine. We saw that in a vote that was taken just a few weeks ago on the passage of the NDAA. Only 61 defections of the 434 members. And so the support is there. We just need the president to finally realize that it is in U.S. national security best interest to support Ukraine. And that means passing the Sanctioning Russia Act of 2025 and ramping up pressure on Russia rather than what we've seen in the last 9 months just on Ukraine, and releasing the $3.85 billion in aid that's already been authorized by Congress.
One of the things that you and your brother criticized in the earlier administrations, the Biden administration generally, was the fact that everything was a bit late, later than it needed to be. There was a real hesitance to allow American long-range weaponry to be used for attacks inside Russia. There was some sense that that would mean that we're actually supporting war with Russia. It's a distinction that didn't matter to most people. Donald Trump seems to be leaning toward lifting that restriction. What do you make of that?
Well, it's about time, and we have lifted that restriction on occasion in the past, but we need to really lift the restriction, period. Look, this is a conflict where Ukraine is fighting Russia and in degrees, China, Korea, and Iran. Iranian unmanned drones have been bombing Ukrainian cities for years now. Korean troops have been fighting on Ukrainian borders. And China is supplying the Russian war machine. And so they're fighting a multi-pronged attack by Russia. And the United States and the West, frankly, need to step up. And part of that is the release authority on the weapons that have been donated so they can strike these safe zones that the Russians are operating right now.
Congressman, it's always good to talk to you. Thank you. I'm glad that I haven't had a chance to go back to Ukraine in the last little while, so I'm glad you were there. A piece of my heart is still in that country. Congressman Eugene Vindman.